Hello and welcome to the Flawed Therapist podcast. And today I am interviewing the wonderful Jill Holly, counsellor from Oxfordshire in the UK, working face-to-face and online. So Jill, welcome. I'm
Hello.
excited to see you. I know we know each other a little bit,
Yeah,
but I really look forward to finding out more about
yeah,
you, especially all the hard, juicy stuff that we don't often talk
yeah,
about. But before we go into the real meaty stuff,
yeah.
um, if you want to do any bragging, what you're proud of, kind of
Yeah,
about 30 seconds for that.
excellent.
What's the best thing about you as a counselor?
I think I'm gonna say my authenticity. I
Mm.
think, yeah, I think being quite raw, meeting people just in all my glory, because to me that matters. Yeah. I have a Facebook Neurodiversity University page, and that for me, that's where I get to just share lots of other people's stuff. So I think, yeah, I like sharing other people's stuff and networking. And yeah, I think that's the big, and I think I've got a sense of humor that gets me out of trouble a lot.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, sense of
yeah,
humor
yeah,
helps. And your
yeah.
authenticity may well be tested in this
I
in
will
this
see. Yeah,
recording. So maybe before I ask you kind of any particular questions, would you say a few words about how you got into counseling therapy?
yeah,
What
certainly.
brought you onto
Yeah,
this uneven path?
yes, this wonky path. Um, so my background, I've always worked with people. I've always worked public service, and I just stumbled upon knowing that I liked working with people, and what I was doing was not deep enough. So, like literally, that was it. I just knew, yeah, I'm helping on the outside of life, but I wanted to find out more and see what was going on inside their heads, inside their hearts. So I actually, this is a good start. I I'm from London originally, so I'd started in training in 1997, and I did a year's introduction course and loved it and was petrified and thought I this is for adults. Adulting adults do this. This is a grown-up job. And I was late 20s at that point, so I wasn't like a teenager. Um, so I didn't pursue it. I didn't have the confidence. I wasn't academic. Um, and then it was like 18 years later. So I still worked frontline. I was family work. I was working with children in schools. And there was just all this like, I want to do this. I want to be a counsellor. I know that I do. And I'd tried different jobs. So I'd done some care work. I'd worked with littlies in nurseries. And I just kept coming back to this. It's the inside stuff.
So it was pulling you and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Every
pulling on your
time
heart.
I did a career search, looking at what might be good for me, always came back to counsellor.
Yeah, and it sounds like you've had plenty of other experience to
Absolutely, yeah, and
support
really good
the work.
employers that are masses of really good training. But that's all I get. There was just this pull to it, but there always was this pull to work with people about their inner world. And as we know, what that actually meant was that I needed to do some stuff on my inner world.
Surprise! We don't always realize that, do we,
No,
when
no,
we
no,
start
no.
on our path?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I want to help others. And oops,
Yeah.
there is something about me that needs
Yeah.
healing and
Yeah.
processing. And yeah.
Yeah.
So, how
Yeah.
many years has it been now since you stepped on the wonky path?
So I went to uni in 2015. So like that feels quite recent to me. And I went to uni because I didn't have a degree, and it was I had to get a student loan. I couldn't afford to pay up front for courses.
It's not
Um,
cheap to train as a counselor.
no.
It's
So that's the only reason I went to uni rather than a local college, was that it's the only possible way to have had
yeah,
it funded.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was 2015. qualified 2018 and kind of went into private practice quite quickly.
Mhm.
And we were warned against it.
Yeah, yeah.
We were,
A big rush.
I understand why, but I think being in my late 40s with lots of experience behind me, lots of safeguarding work, lots of legal work, I thought I can do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here you are,
Yes.
10, 11 years later.
Yep.
And I've got a list of questions I might just glance at to see what I might
Question.
trip you up with.
Yeah.
First of all.
Questions is good for me because I
Yeah.
will
Okay.
just keep expanding. Can I add at this point that I'm ADHD and autistic, and that was late diagnosed? So that I think that was my underneath stuff.
Yeah. So that's something that
It's
maybe
important to me.
prompted you
Yeah.
onto this journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know it's important too because you've got this neurodiversity university
I
set up,
have.
which is a kind of online space, is that
Yeah,
right? To
it is.
support
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
people. And as you know, I've had my own, you may
Yeah.
know or not, I've had my own diagnosis last
I
December.
do.
So
I wanted to wave a flag and go, yay.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I've been on my own journey with
Yeah.
that. And yeah, I think you've been one of my role models. So
Oh,
thank you.
bless you. That's
Yeah.
really thank you.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's really important that I like knowing that I am ADHD and autistic, but I think you're going to probably be similar. But I want a world where we don't need to identify as that, where actually we just know that this is what I need and this is how I work, and our needs are met without needing those labels. So
Yeah.
that's my hope. I will keep that hope.
No, I hear that. I remember the
Yeah.
first time, very recently, in the last few months, it occurred to me that I could ask for accommodation.
Yep.
It was mind blowing. I didn't know
Yep.
how to cope with that.
Yep.
So, but anyway, that's for
Thank you.
another
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
So, one thing I would like to ask you, sometimes therapists are seen as maybe a little bit glamorous, kind of all
Yep.
sorted. We must have healed. Um, what what do your clients not know about less glamorous aspects of you being a therapist?
Well, that's in itself a big question. I think at the beginning of my counselling journey, I think there would be much more that would be hidden. So I think me turning up 2 minutes before a session with half-eaten toast like beside me, and the amount of stress of trying to remember the timings, and so that bit about me. But I think also that my house is really messy, and I think I used to see this as like I can't have that. I can't let anyone know because that would just really compromise who I am or how I would be seen. um I think that I'm prone to addictions. So, like that pull, I have to watch. And again, I think I hid that from clients in
Mm.
the early days.
Yeah, and I can really relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Kind of it's tugging on my heartstrings there.
Yeah.
Um, and and mm, so you say you used to hide it. So are you a bit more open about that
Oh,
now?
yes. So I
Tell me
think I'm
more.
absolutely. So for me, we know as therapists, whatever we're sharing, we need to think, why am I sharing this? Is it of benefit?
Yeah.
And for me it is.
Mhm.
So me sharing it, there's two reasons I share it. One, and when I say it, like my disorganization, my being untidy, my wish to be more organized, and I share it because I want to meet clients where they are. And if I'm perfect,
Mm.
then am I going to be someone that they're going to want to confess to?
Mhm.
Are they going to want to share all their vulnerabilities? So not everyone needs to, I get that, but I do. So for me, it's saying I'm human. I'm
Mm.
human just like you. So I do share. Um, and I also share because I don't like surprises myself.
Okay.
And I think if clients are going to work with me, they need to know who I am. And that is all of me. The
Mm.
messy part is part of me too. That
So you're,
disorganized part, the poor memory. Yeah.
yeah.
Does that make
You're,
sense?
it makes perfect sense. So
Yeah.
you're far from blank slate, and you offer
Yeah.
yourself kind of
Yeah.
in your humanness. No, that's, and I like that.
Yeah. But
Uh,
I've had to work through so much shame. Like I really, really, I think there's a lot of others that would resonate with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of, no, I get it. I can
Yeah.
resonate. A lot of shame around the
Yeah.
disorganization and messiness. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm sure there'll be more guests on this podcast who can relate
Yes.
to that.
Yes.
So, is there, and so you say you're quite open nowadays, but is there anything that your clients may still be surprised to learn
Oh
about
my
you?
gosh, I'm racking. You know, earlier you'd said, like, do you want to know the questions beforehand? I'm now thinking, I wish I did. Is there anything?
Hmm.
I want to say no. That and
Okay.
I'm challenging myself
Yeah.
because, like, there must be. Yeah, I mean, there is some. Yeah. Um.
But you may or may not want to say it on this podcast. I
No, but
appreciate that.
but that authenticity is so important to me, and I'm just trying to think what. Well, I'm also questioning, like, gosh, I really do share quite a lot about me. It's like, is there anything hidden? Is there anything that I keep for myself? Um,
Hmm.
no, Masha, I'm sorry if you wanted a different answer. No.
Any answer is welcome. I'm really,
Yeah, no, I think I am. Yeah, I am really transparent.
yeah, no, I'm really curious about just how open it's possible to be.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously kind of not impose our stuff on the clients, but knowing you, I don't imagine
No, no.
that is an
Um,
issue.
yeah. And ethics. I mean, I love ethics. I think I'm not sure who proudly states that, but I do. I love ethics because it helps us challenge what we're doing. And I think being mindful of our client being important
Mm.
is so important. So
Yeah.
I know that when I'm sharing stuff about me, it's not named, it's not, I'm not declaring intimate private knowledge, but I am sharing examples of um, sleeping through alarms, not going to bed at the right time, even though I need to, being really disorganized. Like I am sharing all that, but I am always being ethical and thinking, how does this impact the client? And yeah, that,
And in terms of ethics, it's such a complex field,
yep,
um, and I think that's why there's a lot of fear of kind of our flaws and our
yep,
mistakes. And
yep,
I remember not always being able to bring some of my terrible moments, or what I
yep,
thought might have been terrible moments, to my supervisor because I was too scared and
yes,
ashamed.
yep,
Um, but I think our capacity to kind of self-reflect and to be able to say, yes, I screwed up there.
yes,
That's
yes,
the biggest part of kind of ethical work,
yes,
because ethics cannot be, this, I'm an ethical therapist, I'm working in this particular way, I'm behaving in this particular way, and this is it. There are
yes,
boundaries and there is
yeah,
rigidity and
yeah,
there is learning.
yes,
Um,
yes,
so I guess one of my main curiosities is, can you think of any significant mistakes you
mm-hmm.
may have made, or maybe some assumptions you've made in the past about your work, about your clients, uh, that maybe wouldn't have been the most helpful
Yeah,
thing
I
for your
I
clients?
can. Yeah.
So obviously we're talking generically,
Yeah.
break line confidentiality, but would you be
Yeah.
able to share anything that you're looking back upon now thinking, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that?
Yes. So, I I think one of the hardest things for me has been timekeeping and clocks. Like, it's a proper issue for me. The measure of time just goes beyond me. An hour can pass and it has felt like a minute.
You
So
were perfectly on time for a meeting today.
this is one of my tricks, because I had a 9 a.m. booked.
Ah,
So, that I'm only ever here just before the appointment. So I booked one before you so that I would already be definitely ready with red lipstick on, for those that are not watching but are just hearing us. I made an effort with red lipstick.
you look
Um,
good.
so I mean, I'm going to say a couple of significant ones, and I'm going to do them generically, as you've said. Protecting our clients is everything. It's like right up there as the most important thing. So I know that I have been late for an appointment, so late for a client, and had to absolutely be humble and profusely apologize. And one of my things is, if I am going to cock up, like, there needs to be a demonstration of how important I see it, how I value my client. So, yeah, I can think of being late. I can think of two clients turning up at the same time and having to really quickly think, okay, who do I choose? And one had already sat down and then the door went. So in that moment, like, it's the person with the bum on the seat gets it first. So having to profusely apologize, and the shame, and then try and hold it together for that client that I am then sat with, and just awash with shame and hate, and thinking, I shouldn't do this. I cannot hold this, and I should not be a counsellor. I don't deserve to be a counsellor.
So that inner
Um,
critic is pretty vicious.
oh, that negative self-talk, and we know everything from our past comes up. But I want to add on to that how we handle it, how I handle it. Um, I then profusely apologize. The next session is free. Like, you've been inconvenienced today. I owe you, and I do. Um, and that's me saying, you matter to me. You absolutely matter to me. And then doing the next session free. And your comment about supervision, like, if I get that really heavy feeling of, oh my gosh, I don't want to take this to supervision, that's exactly what I take to supervision.
That needs to go to supervision.
I'm so about being authentic, but oh, come on, we're human. If I could hide all my mistakes, I think the natural response is to want to. That's what shame does. It makes us isolate and hide it. So if I have something that induces that much shame, that I like, oh God, I'm going to get told off by my supervisor, that's what I take. And I have been told off by a supervisor. And that crucified me. And I can remember thinking, I need to not do this. Like, genuinely, what other jobs are out there?
That's
But then
painful.
that was, and I'm a supervisor. I didn't say that earlier. I'm a supervisor as well. And my drive has been to support counsellors, because we can be so hard on ourselves, and it is a tough job. It's also a fun job. I'm really aware we're talking serious, and I think there's so much laughter. But yeah, so going back to the client and apologizing, and I can, encouraging my client to be angry with me.
Absolutely. No, I love that. I think apology is so important. A genuine apology is so
Yeah,
important, because so many people we work with have been wronged in so many
yeah,
ways, and
yeah,
actually lack of apology or acknowledgement often is kind of an extra element
yeah,
in that, but whatever the burden they're
yeah,
carrying or the trauma they've
yeah,
experienced. And actually hearing a genuine apology, I do believe
yeah,
that is really valuable, kind of
yeah,
potential,
Yeah,
potentially healing action
I
on
I
our part.
do. I do think so, because that ability, and that ability to be angry with somebody in a safe space,
Mm,
to for a client to be able to say that that really hurt them and upset them. And I've had that.
mm,
Like, that's my vulnerability here, is I've had that, and I have taken it, and I have sat there and encouraged it. And in that moment, whilst I know I fucked up, in that moment of repair, it's beautiful. And actually, if we're not authentic, and if we're hiding those bits of us that we think are damaging, and we think are just not good enough to be out there, we're denying an opportunity for people to see, for clients to see that actually, could their fuck ups
yeah.
be healed. So they're doing it with us. So I'm going to say again, like, I know I've had experiences where I've encouraged someone to be angry with me. They have been angry with me, and I have supported that and said, I'm proud that you're angry with me. And then seeing afterwards, like, I've created a Masha, you and I both, I'm aware we're really serious, but like, you and I both have this sort of sense of humor. But like, I then can say to myself, like, hey, I gave him an opportunity to heal. That's why I fucked up. And
As long as we don't use it as an excuse.
no, and I took it to supervision. Like, I then had I now
Yeah,
have a wonderful supervisor. And the first time I got her, I said to her, like, I'm so scared of my mistakes. They make me feel sick. They make me feel less than, and they hurt me, like, when I make mistakes. And my supervisor, who is absolutely wonderful, sat there. This was the introduction session, and she sat there and said, I'll tell you all mine. And Masha, I burst into tears. I feel welled up just saying it. I burst into tears and thought, I want this one. This is what I need.
absolutely. I just love that, Jill,
Yeah,
because I really feel for, I sometimes speak to people who are scared of their
yeah,
supervisor or
yeah,
ashamed to bring stuff to their
yeah,
supervisor. I think, again, as a supervisor
yeah,
myself,
yeah.
I think yes, part of our job is protecting the public and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And in order to protect the public, we have to give our
yeah,
supervisees the best possible support.
yeah,
And I think a non-shaming approach
yeah,
is the
yeah,
only way
yeah,
to go.
yeah.
I think,
Because
yeah,
what we hide, we can't heal.
yeah,
Like, literally, like, we literally, if we hide it from ourselves, I mean, that's the whole point of counseling as well. Like, I want my clients to bring their shame, their cock ups, their secrets, and not pulling them out. We don't pull out, but we create that space so that, oh gosh, all of that can come out. So what better way than showcasing mine, you know?
I think it's very permission
Yeah,
giving. Yeah, absolutely. And when it kind of happens spontaneously,
yeah,
uh, it's just
yeah,
part of life.
yeah.
So let me see if I've got any other tricky questions to ask. Ooh,
Oh my God,
this might be
you're scaring me. Go on.
people who are close to you, like your
Yes.
friends, your family. What do they complain about most?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Again, feel free to be selective, but
no, I mean, I don't even have to work hard to try and answer this. Talking at people. It is
talking
that
out.
hyperverbal, just, I get going. It's like pulling the string to get me going, and just go, 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 go. Um, yeah, yeah. And oh, I'm flapping now. Being very opinionated and strong willed, but it is with respect. Like, I don't think anyone needs to do what I say, but I like to be heard. Like, informed choices. I like people to make informed choices, You don't have to do what I say.
But
So,
I'll tell you.
well, and I'll tell you what I think, and I do ask. So, like, I will say, like, do you want to know what I think? And I'll do it in a way that I'm like, it's so obvious I want to. And a little secret is that most people I know are quite nosy. So if I'm saying like, oh, I really want to tell you what I think, can I give you my thoughts? Like 90, no one says no because they're too nosy. And nosy means inquisitive. Yeah, so I would say that I do have an opinion. I do have thoughts, quite strong opinions, quite strong thoughts. And yeah, I will talk at people. But I have learned not to be ashamed of that, because everyone matters, and boundaries, and knowing that if someone has a problem with that, I want them to tell me. So this is sort of in line with what you're saying. Like I have she wouldn't mind me saying this, a best friend, and I know sometimes she'll be like, can we get together, but I can't do the being talked at today. And to me, like, if I go back in time, that would have upset me. But because there's this authenticity and this honesty and trust, we can say that it's a safe space. So she can say, but I can't do that today. And then I'll be like, okay, I'll try really, 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 really hard not to. So just give me feedback if I slip. But it's done with respect, and it's not done every day. And it's not saying you must never be that, because it's part of who I am. And sometimes I can't control it, Masha. But yeah, that I think everyone would say that about me.
And that capacity to take feedback, I think
Yes.
that's a great learning.
Yes.
As you say, you might have been feeling hurt in the past
Yeah.
with that
And,
feedback.
and yeah. And actually, I'll go back to one of your previous questions. What people might not know about me or would be surprised is that I can actually go semi-speaking. So I know it's a trauma response, but that whilst I'm hyperverbal and I talk a lot and I'm articulate, in a safe space, I am those things.
Can
But
you
actually,
explain what does semi-speaking, did you say? What
semi-speaking,
does
so
that mean?
semi-speaking means that I am speaking, but I'm not accessing what I really mean. So it can look like masking, it can look like
Okay.
fawning,
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
or I can't speak and I'll just be saying script. So I'll be being polite and saying minimal.
Okay. Okay, I get it. I've
And
not come across that term before.
okay.
Semi-speaking.
So
Yeah.
people would be surprised because it's in such contradiction.
Mm.
So I'm aware, like when you just said, so you like, that feedback, that's really good, in a safe space.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting feedback, that's a real thing that I have to watch for me, is that if I get feedback and I'm not expecting it, or I don't know the person well enough to know if their intentions are good, then I crumble.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
properly crumble. And I'm really aware that can surprise some people. Like if people think that us as counsellors, like, we never trigger, we are always in control. Oh no, no.
Yeah.
I can go into trauma responses, and yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Jen.
yeah,
So I think that's a really good example in terms of kind of everybody potentially has those vulnerable spots
yeah,
that
yeah,
could kind of activate
yeah.
depending on.
And I own it, and I would take it to my therapy, and I would take it to my supervisor and figure, yeah, what went on for me, and be kind to myself. But
Okay.
again, a lot of people do know that, but I do know that that can be surprising.
Yeah.
And I think we can be judged for it. I know that I can be judged for it. So sometimes I ask for written communication rather than verbal. So that is a complete contradiction to me being a real talker.
Yeah, I get it,
Yeah.
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 So I think we're doing well for time. So maybe one or two more questions from
Go for it. Go for it.
Let me see. Okay. Oh, this is a tricky one. I think. I'm just wondering, do you ever catch yourself wanting to be seen as wise and special and
Of,
all sorted?
of
Does it ever happen?
course. Of course. Of course I do. And I tell you when that comes up is when I see other people with their shit together.
Mm,
Oh my gosh, the envy. Like I accept all my flawed parts and I accept this is who I am. And oh my gosh, yeah. When I see somebody who's just another counsellor that's got it all together and doing all, probably even you, Masha. I think, there's, I look at all that you do and all that you achieve. And I'm like, oh my
I'm the
gosh.
one that's got it all together. Okay.
And
And
I know that other bit too. I do. You're very honest and raw with everyone, which is beautiful. But yeah, I I can get really jealous of other people who seem to just have it easy. And yeah, I want to be special. I want to be the best. I want to, yes. And I have to check myself.
absolutely.
I
No,
think there's something serendipitous about often when I get to that place. I'm going to think of metaphors actually, Masha, because I talk about your metaphor of movement all the time. And like, when I notice that I am wanting to, and if you're only listening to this, then like I'm holding my head up high, like quite aloof. And like when I have that urge and I want to, I'm always going to look inside me and just think what's going on for me, because I should be good enough as I am. So what's happening? But oh yes, and I'm a bit competitive.
great. Thank you, Jill. Do give me the names of those therapists who all sorted, and I will interview them on this podcast.
There's loads I could give you. Yes, yeah.
Great. I'll talk to you about it later. So, so I guess one of my last questions will be, in what ways are you still a flawed therapist, despite all the personal development and
Yeah,
professional development and healing work? In what ways
yeah,
it's still a thing?
yeah. I until I die, I don't think we ever stop. I would say I'm always having to check how much I'm talking. Like
Mm,
I would say that is I sit after sessions and think, did I talk too much? Did I take over at all? Did I? So that's something that I'm always having to work on. Um, and I think I've adapted what I do a lot. I'm finding this really interesting to reflect. Like, I think I adapt a lot. Like, I know I don't do to-do lists,
mm,
Masha. Like, I love being a therapist. I hate the admin behind it. And it's
mm,
because I find it really hard. So I think previously I just had to stick to that narrative that I must be good at admin. So I would do the to-do lists that then never got done.
mm,
I would write things down that needed to be done. And I'd have a lot of stress because it would be so hard and it would exhaust me and I'd get ill. Whereas now I would say I'm better at, again, being honest and knowing I'm not going to send you that podcast that I said about. So I encourage other people to take more responsibility. So yeah, or I might say at the end of the session, I've done a note now that I'll never look back at. So whilst I am still with you, right at the end of the session, I'll be like, okay, let me do it now whilst I've still got you. And I will send you this thing right now. So I would say that I would love to be somebody who just smoothly afterwards does this list of things to be done. That will be my nemesis.
mm, mm. Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think maybe just the final question,
yep.
why is it okay for us to be flawed? Some people may not believe so.
This is a good question and very true because we, even those that don't think they're flawed, they will be. We're human. Humans are so complex. Like everyone will have a flaw. And if we don't know what their flaw is, it's because it's well hidden. And yeah, I am more suspicious of the, I'm going to alienate possibly your listeners. If your listeners like think they're not flawed, then they're probably not going to want to listen to this. So I'm going to hope that you've got the audience of the thought flawed ones themselves. Yeah, I would say better out than in, better that we know about it, better that we're honest about it. And I think, you know, it's so easy for me to sit here with you today, Masha, and like share and say I'm not perfect and I've got these flaws. And I like, how have I got there? I've got there because other people before me have been vulnerable. And I think of, you know, I met you through the creative counsellors, and I think within the creative counsellors, there have been so many therapists that have shared their hearts, that have shown their difficulties. And for me, that's what community is. That's what networking is. That's what I'm so excited to be talking about this today with you, because there are amazing therapists out there and they need to hear us, because I have that privilege of not being sacked because I'm self-employed. I don't have a boss, and I'm accountable, but you know what I mean. And that actually, yeah, it's contagious. I think that vulnerability and sharing and honesty is contagious. So yeah, we need to share it. So if somebody is out there and doesn't think they're flawed,
we can pause there,
Thank
Jill,
you.
and no, I really appreciate that, and I think, and from what I'm hearing from you, vulnerability in itself isn't necessarily enough. There has to be some accountability
Absolutely,
for
yes.
our own self-healing, our own
Yeah,
learning,
yeah.
our own kind of
And
taking
yeah,
responsibility, and that's what you have
absolutely.
been doing.
Yeah. And we're laughing and we have a serious job. I mean, yeah. So absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Masha.
Jill. We can pause here. I'll stop the recording.
Thank you.
And thank you so much. So Jill Holly from Oxfordshire.
Yep.
And if you, I can include your website details into the post when I spread the word about this, Jill.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Masha. Thank you.